We're back at PennHurst tonight for another overnight lockdown. Before we jump into this paranormal investigation, I just wanted to go over some of the history of this place. This was originally known as the Eastern Pennsylvania Institution for the Epileptic and Feeble-Minded. It then became the PennHurst State School and Hospital. It opened in 1908 when they received their first patient, and it closed in 1987. During the time that it was open, there was a lot of terrible things that happened here. It was very overcrowded, a lot of abuse from other patients and staff. There was a particular doctor that worked here, is by the name of Dr. Fear. He would inject patients with particularly painful injections to get a reaction out of them and to punish them. A lot of the patients that ended up here also weren't, as we would classify them, insane. They were people who had things like autism and other disabilities. Some of them didn't even have disabilities. They were just orphans that ended up here. During their time here, they ended up in situations where they were chained to cribs as adults and restrained and not allowed up out of their beds. They were left to sit in their own waste for days on end. It was a really horrific place to be. Back in 1968, there was a reporter who came and did a report here, and him and his camera crew had to take breaks throughout the 5 days of filming because of the emotional toll it took on them. But that was what turned the public's eye onto what was really going on here and other places that are similar to this one. So without that, we wouldn't have the standards that we have today in how we treat people with disabilities, and even had its own train station where people who didn't want their kids or couldn't handle their kids for behavioral issues or whatever the problem was, they would hang a sign around their neck that just said to PennHurst, and they would put them on the train, and when they got here they would unload them, and this is where they would spend the rest of their life. Property here was also meant to be completely self-sufficient. They didn't have much contact with the outside world. They were pretty much cut off. It was a solution, this place. So it was the practice of eugenics, where they would try to clean up the gene pool by taking everybody who was undesirable in society, and they would send them to places such as PennHurst, and they would be sterilized and things of that nature so they couldn't reproduce, to try to have a better society. And being part of that better society, they didn't want them interacting with the outside world. So they would grow their own food, they had their own power plant, and the patients here would perform all those jobs, so that way they didn't have to be in contact with the normal world. Horrific things that I found out that went on here was many of the patients, being that they were all over the autism spectrum and they had different disabilities, a lot of them were nonverbal and they were neglected. So they would often turn to things like biting for attention, or because they didn't have the ability to use words. And in that time, it was believed that people who had these disabilities were unable to feel pain. So when a patient would bite staff members or other patients, they would take them in for dental procedures where they would remove their teeth, but because they thought they couldn't feel pain, they wouldn't give them any type of Novocaine or anesthetic. And they would have to be restrained while a dentist would pull their teeth out one by one without anything to stop the pain. This place is supposed to be pretty haunted because of all of the negative activity that's happened here. There's supposed to be a lot of activity in the Mayflower building. There's supposed to be a lot of activity in the infirmary. The infirmary here was built later than when the place actually opened, because they were having a hard time transporting patients to one of the local hospitals back and forth. So they built an infirmary here, and it was designed to have everything that a hospital would have, but it also then had everything that the patient places would have in here as well. So in the infirmary, you have a lot of patient rooms, you have bathrooms, you have showers, plus you have the surgical centers and the dental office and things like that. It didn't really help much because even with having the infirmary here, the death toll was still very high. There's no accurate number of how many people actually died here, but they say it's somewhere around 50%. And there was about 10,700 people who passed through this place, to give you an idea. Alright, so here we are in the infirmary. I have a REM pod set up in the doorway over here. I have a cat ball set up in this doorway over here. There's an app for the cell phone that's pretty popular nowadays called Spirit Talker. So I'm going to go ahead and put my phone on airplane mode, and we're going to give that a shot. Let's see what we can get with this. I've seen other people on YouTube have good luck with this app. REM pod going off. Is that you setting off the REM pod?
Thank you. Out.
Out.
Oh,
It said out.
It won't go to the room, I guess.
Do you want us out? Can you set the REM pod off again for us? Again, I'm going to put this down in the middle of the floor here. You can talk into that.
Many deaths.
Many deaths. No way.
Wow.
REM pod again?
Yep.
Can you set that off harder? If you grab the antenna on there, the metal piece, it'll really light up. Can you do that for us? Alright, so we're about 5 minutes into this. We already got the REM pod going off. The Spirit Talker is saying some crazy things. And we're going to keep going and... Oh, REM pod again. Can you make all the colors light up?
The house.
The house. Thank you for being so interactive with the REM pod. Can you touch it again?
Violet.
Violet.
Let's go.
You know, if you don't have the energy to set one of these devices off, you can pull energy from them to make yourself stronger. REM pod. Whoa.
Showing you how strong it is.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You're really
Would you
lighting that
help?
thing up. Would you help?
What do you need?
Would you help? What do you need help with?
How can we help?
What can we do to help you?
In heaven.
In heaven.
In heaven. Oh my goodness.
Is that where you're at?
Is that where you want to be? Wow, you are something else. Said that. I'm impressed. Good job. Safe.
Safe. You really do like that REM pod, don't you?
Yeah, it's getting out of it.
Can you let go of it, please? Oh, no, you're gonna grab harder.
You heard US.
You heard us. Yeah, I do hear you.
We do hear you.
We hear you with the REM
Voices.
pod.
You're doing a great job.
Oh, big time light up.
Awesome. Almost.
Almost.
Almost got all the lights.
Yeah, you certainly did. The closer you get to it, the more you grab it, the more it lights up and makes noise.
Good job.
You really like that REM pod, don't you?
Shadow.
Shadow.
Is there a shadow in there?
Can you try lighting up one of our other devices? Like the little ball that's over there in that doorway? It doesn't take much, you just gotta tap it.
I'll show you how to do it.
Just like that. All it takes is a little tap. We also have that one up there.
Fall.
Fall. If you touch that one, it'll light up. There's lights on it that go from green to yellow to red. But the REM pod's your favorite, isn't it?
Animal.
Can you tell us what your name is?
Amanda.
Amanda. No way. Hello, Amanda. My name is Jim, and I'm joined here with Joyce. We drove quite a long way just to come and talk to you. Alright, so we've wrapped up our investigation of the infirmary, and now we're heading over to the Devon building. We're going down in the basement in Devon because apparently that's supposed to be a really creepy spot. A lot of people have reported activity there. So let's see what we get. It felt like something was tapping on my backpack.
Could hear creaking over there. That's why I looked at you. Was that door open that far out?
Yeah.
Okay. I was having to walk down there too wide.
I thought it was.
I'll have to look at the video later. Maybe you didn't go too wide at that point. Alright, head back down this way because now it's coming up that way.
That was right above my head.
There's 2 people in each room. This big one and the two.
Yeah.
That's why there's two closets.
There's something down there.
You want to walk back down?
As soon as we do, it'll be back up here.
Yeah, it's playing with us.
Who's here with us? We could hear you moving around.
Investigator.
Yeah, that's what we are.
We are investigators.
Man, that's loud. I'll turn the volume down. It is both chop. Who's here with us? Mandy.
Mandy? Hello, Mandy.
Are you the one running around all over? Yeah. Afraid.
Kind of.
There's no need to be afraid.